underway to kick it off after another record-breaking year for the leading crowdfunding platform, Birchal. And despite the choppy market conditions, funding activity has remained fairly resilient on the platform. For his insights on what's happening, Birchal MD Matt Vitale joins us once again. Matt, great to have you back on the show. It has been busy. We're about to see just how busy it is with some of the campaigns currently underway. But just give us your take, because of course in the private equity and VC markets, we've seen a fair bit of concern about the potential access for capital.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's fair to say that the conditions for raising capital at the moment are pretty choppy. And, you know, like crowdfunding's not immune from that. But I think the unique feature of what we do is we're still able to get deals done in this environment. The really unique feature about equity crowdfunding is companies can make a public offer of securities to potentially, you know, unlimited national audience, really cost effectively compared to what it would cost historically. And we've had some experience with this at the start of the COVID pandemic. You know, people were still processing what this all meant, and sources of capital really dried up. So, you know, we're seeing probably a little bit of a softening in the deal sizes, but certainly a lot of activity. And, you know, you could say that these are the times that equity crowdfunding has been built for. So really excited to be bringing deals to market and offering opportunities for investors to get involved.
Now, there are two types of investors involved. There are, of course, the sophisticated or high net worths who are part of these campaigns, but we're also seeing strong retail interest. People are able to invest up to $10,000 in a Birchal campaign. That seems to be a really strong area in the crowdfunding space.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I mean, I'd argue as well that, you know, every wholesale investor is also a retail investor. So, you know, as a platform, we need to determine someone's status as a wholesale investor when they do want to invest more than $10,000. But, you know, as I mentioned, that's the unique feature of what we do, is that early stage businesses as an asset class are being offered at scale to everyone for the first time. And, you know, we're in a period of choppiness where, you know, there is some uncertainty, but also a lot of opportunity as well. So, you know, I think many Australians are taking the opportunity to get involved in these businesses at an early stage at an increasing rate. And certainly we expect that to continue over the next couple of years for sure.
Now, Matt, we're going to catch up once a month over the next couple of months, looking at around about 15 companies all up. The 4 we've got on today are all in that expression of interest phase, which is an important part of that initial crowdfunding process. What have you got in the pipeline coming up to Christmas 2022?
Yeah, look, we've got a really busy year ahead, or the run up to Christmas is always pretty busy. And, you know, campaigns, because as you'll know, like we run an expression of interest campaign before the offer goes live. So a lot of companies definitely have the end of the year firmly in their sights at the moment. I think the other really encouraging thing is that a lot of purposeful businesses, so businesses that are, you know, operating in, you know, for lack of a better term, a kind of purposeful or ESG type space. And we've had a lot of success with these kinds of businesses in the past. And I think more and more Australians are looking at opportunities to invest in businesses that are going to shape the future that we want to see. So it's pretty exciting. And yeah, a few kind of big names lined up before the end of the year, but yeah, you'll have to wait for the next installment of the show, Simon.
Oh, absolutely. Now, and finally, Matt, of course, we're seeing that the current activity is pretty similar in terms of deals and volumes to this time 12 months ago. But I also want to ask you about companies like Thriday, which of course set that record raise in 2020. Tell us a couple of the stories around what people have done with the money and the progress they've made as businesses.
Look, I mean, Thriday's a great example, and Michael's going to get into a little bit more about their progress later in the show. But another one that we're just extremely proud of is the CBIN project. So, you know, they've raised on our platform a couple of times now. I think about $1.8 million in March 2020 when no one else was raising. And then about 1.2 to complete the $3 million round that they wanted to do at the height of the pandemic. And really those funds were raised to, you know, execute their plan for 50 cities around the globe. And you might remember that the CBIM project, it's an amazing Australian innovation that collects waste plastic from the ocean. They're deployed in LA now and lots of cities around the world. And we're just so proud that Australians that in, probably one of the most uncertain times for investors to be investing, were backing a business that, they believe was solving a problem that was going to exist, beyond the pandemic and is still out there for us to solve. So they're the kinds of businesses that we get really excited about, but it's so great to see what the capital that Australians have put into these businesses has started to produce. And, another great story in Friday, which I'm sure you'll enjoy later today.
Well, I think projects like that, and of course Zero Co, are helping sort of improve the environment. I know thousands of tonnes of waste have been pulled from the ocean out of that project, so CBIM certainly is a great one. Matt, great to have you on the show. Look forward to talking with the rest of the Birchal campaign founders. Thanks for your time.
Awesome, thanks Simon.